Hello guys, good evening and welcome to Formula 1 Racing League. Here with the lads of Tier 2 for round number 5 at the circuit Paul Ricard. For the French GP, I am Ivor Bryn Mike, and not only is this one of the first races I've been back commentating in the new year, this is the first race of the new year in Formula 1 racing. So hope everyone had a fantastic Christmas period, lots of joyous times with family members considering the situation globally. I hope you all was able to make the best of it, and yeah, at least have a good Christmas. But we're here for the brand new year, same old racing, and we are gonna get diving straight into qualifying. I'm just going to get the latest standings and the track map up. Last time out in Belgium, if you guys did not see that, make sure you go back and check it out. It was some good racing at Belgium. So I'm just going to get the standings up, and right, so last time out we had Aiden taking the victory in Belgium, looking for a repeat performance again. But in terms of the I had a hiccup, man. You can't be doing that, Mike. But in terms of the driver standings, it is Wester who leads the way by 20 points. He's got a gap of 20 points, and he is currently on 63 points after 4 rounds, ahead of Dogarbs in second on 43 points, and it is absolutely chucking it down here in qualifying. The rain has come. It kind of knew it had to come back with a bit of spice in qualifying. Maybe we'll see some wet weather conditions in the race, maybe not, but the rain is out here at the circuit Paul Ricard's. Game Freaks in third on 39 points, 1 point ahead of the two guys in joint fourth on points, but Aiden being placed ahead considering he got that win in Belgium. Aiden and Ryan Webb 4th and 5th. Alpha Rolls in 6th. Oliver in 7th. Murrell in 8th. Durpol in 9th. And Riker rounding out the top 10. Now I believe we got some people on their outlap, so let's bring them on screen and get everything up that I need to get up, including the track map. So we'll just get the track map up, as we are currently on board with Tenured Frog as he navigates his way around what will be a very tricky qualifying session. 15 corners here at the circuit Paul Ricard, with a distance of 5.8 kilometers in track length. 2 DRS zones, 1 down the pit straight from turns 15 to turns 1, and 1 down the back straight on the exit of turn 7 all the way to the chicane of turns 8 and 9. Paul Ricard usually throws up some interesting racing. Very easy to get stuck in the DRS train around here, but hopefully we'll get some battles going up and down the field, as we are going to go on board with Tenured Frog, who's going to give us a lap of the circuit Paul Ricard as he tries to get the power down, coming out of the final corner. And here we go, crossing the start finish line to set his first flying lap on the run down into turn 1, breaking just before the 100 meter in the wet conditions, as you take quite a lot of curb on the entry and on the exit in the dry, but of course you want to stay away from the curbs in the wet as we go into turns 3 and 4. Really getting on the curbs there is not advisable in the wet, as it does get a lot slippery in In terms of traction, you see there just a little snap of oversteer on the exit of turn 6, and now, as I believe this will be an invalidation if he comes back onto the track. No, he's actually kept it going, but running down now towards the chicane. He does have a McLaren right behind him who's also on a flying lap. Maybe the McLaren should have backed off just a little bit before getting underway, because this is definitely going to compromise him. Was that Nils behind him? No, it's Dirtpole. And there goes Dirtpole. Actually, he goes ahead as we go through what is the flat out turn 10 in the dry, but in the wet, maybe just a small lift as we go into 11. I'll actually go on board with Dirtpole as Dirtpole has invalidated his lap, so we'll go back on board with 10-Year Frog as he is currently still on a valid lap as we run now towards the penultimate corner, turns 14. Kind of want to hit a late apex there as just gets a little bit greedy on the throttle and wheel spins up off the track. And it's not going to be a competitive time from 10-Year Frog, but it is going to be a time on the board, and it's going to be a 1:49 flat. He will immediately be beaten by Ryan Webb, who crossed the line with a 42.3. Nils right behind with a 42.9. Alex there with a 44 flat. Then Chris getting himself up into second on a 42.6. I'm currently on board with Lib now, as we got Aidan last race winner. I was going to say last week, but we have been gone for a fair few weeks, but it's good to be back in the new year 2021, and should be a much better year than 2020. As Muriel actually goes on provisional pole right now with a 41.0. And Pricky also gets ahead of Ryan Webb there with a 42.2. But let's see what Lib now is going to be able to do as Gozan there, Sem Gozan, they're up into second place with a 42.1 and a 41.4 for Lib now in the Haas. As it looks like Alex has actually, he's lost it coming out of turn 10. Very easy to do in the wet conditions. Getting a bit too, I'm going to say getting a little bit too greedy on the throttle, and just having that snap in the rear sends you around. This looks like Dog Obs is on a cool down lap. Mate is about to gear himself up on a lap. Our championship leader Wester has had a shocking first lap. Definitely made a mistake somewhere. But here we go, we're on board with the man in the Red Bull, who I believe has a, does he have a race win to his name? No, he doesn't have a race win to, oh yeah, that's right. He has been in multiple, he's been on for a great result at multiple races, but picks up DNFs. As so far this season he has been unable to finish a race. Will this be the one for Mate? Will he finally see the checkered flag? Time will tell, of course, but as of right now, he's currently on his flying lap. What's his middle sector saying? As we come to the sector split now, it's a 55.8 purple in the middle sector. So we'll see if we can keep that momentum going on as we go through the final sector. We just had some positions change. I believe Dog Obs going up into second there with a 40.9. So Dog Obs there doing a fine job indeed. As we got a Mate now coming through the penultimate corner and into the final corner. Very important to get a good run out of here, because it will maximise your speed going down to the line. And what's it going to be for Mate? It's going to be a 40.1, pushing him on provisional pole, 4 attempts ahead of Wester, who did improve on his time. He actually popped himself up into provisional pole for the time being, but it was immediately beaten by Mate, and it looks like the track is getting quicker and quicker, because Ryan Webb now into second with a 40.5 as well. And the clouds appear to be clearing up. The rain appears to be slowing. Now the question is this track going to get dry at the end of this session? Goes in, losing the back end through turn 10 and into the wall, just showing the difficulties of going around on a wet and slippy track. Doghouse will come into the pits, and I believe everyone who is on a lap will be into the pits, but everyone on out lap will continue on. So Alpha Wolves, currently down in 15th, will be the next man to set a flying lap. I believe actually Durpol is actually ahead on track, but we'll stay on board with the man in the blood red Ferrari, the Scuderia, and we'll hope that he doesn't spin as much as Vettel does in real life. But he keeps it nice and calm through turn 1 and 2, and I'm going to look at the chat 2 seconds to see what everyone is saying. So we got Oliver in the chat saying he's gutted that he's missing today's race, and I can see why, as Oliver currently 7th in the Drivers' Championship, 7th on 30 points, and it is so close at the moment in that battle for second. Only 13 points separating Dog Arbs in second and Oliver down in 7th. So it's incredibly tight, and missing this race could hinder Oliver's chances later on in the season, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see how things plan out during the course of the rest of the season. But right now, who's going to stop Wester, a man with 2 wins to his name? As Alpha Wolves comes to the final corner, it looks like Durpol may have just invalidated his lap, as he doesn't pop up the order. So Alpha Wolves to the line, and it's gonna be a 40.5. Look at that, second, third and fourth separated by 700ths of a second right now. And the track, I do think the track is getting quicker, but I don't think it's going to dry out. So that's going to be something. And it still says Ryan Webb is fastest at the bottom, so I'll do a quick pause and then back out, and there we go, is updated saying that Mate is now the fastest, which is what he should have said from the start, Codemasters. But we're on board with Nils as he comes to the line. What's he going to do in the McLaren? He does improve, gets himself ahead of Christo. I believe it's Christoph. It might be Christoph, I'm not sure, but I'm just going to call him Chris. So he gets ahead of Chris there, improves by half a second, as Muriel there pops up in the second with a 40.2. A good lap there from the Racing Point, as we got Cohen now coming through the final few corners, and then we got Durpol behind him. So Cohen to the line, and it's going to be a 42.1, gets himself into the top 10. Now of course the wet compound of tyres that are here in qualifying means that everyone will have free choice of tyre compound when it comes to the race, as long as it is dry. So I believe we got the right, so we got Mate who's just starting a flying lap. We got Ryan Webb who's on an out lap coming to the line now. Wester's off and into the wall. He's gone off at turn 10, so the championship leader struggling in these conditions, struggling to keep it on track, and that's going to be an end to his qualifying session, and he is out. So a big opportunity for a lot of these guys to take advantage of that. The track is improving as Ryan Webb 3 temps up in the first sector. Oh, a big snap there from Ryan as he comes out of turn 6 and into 7. A nice big oversteer snap for the man in the Mercedes as we go through the chicanes of 8 and 9. Now to the second sector split. He's lost a bit of time there because of that snap. He's just under 2 temps up. Let's see if we can find some time in the final sector. Does have a little bit of traffic up ahead. I believe it is Chris up ahead, and it is Chris up ahead. Mate to the line, and what is Mate going to do? He is the man on provisional pole right now. Is he going to improve? He does with a 39.9. And now we got the Williams, who I don't think... no, he didn't improve, as we got Ryan Webb now to the line. And it is going to be a marginal improvement by 0.09 of a second. So losing a bit more time in the final sector. As, oh, who was that? As Pricky goes up in the second. Who was that in the wall there? I believe it was Ralph. TRT Ralco. In the wall and out of this session. As we got third pole about to start a flying lap. But I believe Dog Obbs has continued on and he's in a hot lap, so he's going for another lap. So we'll stay on board with Dog Obbs. And he is just under 3 temps up. He needs a bit more time. Bit of a snap there through turns 10 as he manages to catch it very quickly, which is good for him because he could have easily had gone off there like Wester, like Gozan, like Alex. Now into the penultimate corner. Mate getting well and truly out of the way as he comes back into the pit lane, and I believe that will be actually no, he stays out, so he is going for another lap, and Dog Obbs there gets himself up into 4th with that lap. It is a 40.3, a good lap there from Dog Obbs. And Christoph is into the pits. That's the end of his session. Everyone in the pits right now will not have an opportunity to come out and set another lap. As there we go, Muro doing a smart thing there. He noticed he was a bit too close to Cohen, so he backs off and lets them go as Muro's actually slowed down a little bit too much. He's waiting for the last second to go. Okay, so who is going to be the next person to cross the line? Got Lib Now's on the out lap. We got Tenured Frog on the out lap. Dog Obbs, he is pushing. He's 3 temps up again as we go past the middle sector. So Dog Obbs is pushing. He has Mate right behind him. Dog Obbs now in the final sector. Can he squeeze any more time out of his lap? Can he get himself up the order as Pricky has retired from the session? Dogobbs, does he improve? He does improve by 4/10, puts him on provisional pole, and then Matey there takes it right back. And Alpha Wolves gets himself up into second place. Ryan Webb into the pits. That's the end of his session. And that is game over for Alpha Wolves and Matey. Dogobbs, he's in 0 ERS, so he's not going to be able to go again. He did cross the line, able to go for another lap, and unfortunately just couldn't do it as Paul there taking the scenic route. Oh, Murrell, a big snap of oversteer as he comes out of turn 10, and that's definitely a lap over and done with for him. But what about Aiden? Aiden 9 tenths up on his time as he comes to the penultimate corner now. What is this going to be for the winner of the Belgian Grand Prix? Is he going to be able to put it on pole here as we go for the final corner? Is it going to be? It's a 40.4. He just pops in behind his teammate Knox Wester down to 8th, and right now only Live Now and Tenured Frog left to set a lap time as Live Now comes towards the line. And he gets himself into the top 10, putting Dirtpole on the bubble. And Tenured Frog to the line. What is this going to be for the other Haas driver? He's going to be able to get himself up the order. He does improve on his time, but not enough to improve his position. And that brings an end to qualifying here. And it is Mate on pole position there by almost 4/10 of a second. Then we got Alpha Wolves alongside, and Dogobbs, who was only 1/1000th of a second slower than Alpha Wolves. That's how close it was between the Ferrari and the Williams. Ryan Webb in 4th, Pricky in 5th, Murrell in 6th, Aiden F1 in 7th, Wester down in 8th after crashing out in qualifying, Libnow in 9th, and Dirtpole will round out the top 10. And outside the top 10 we'll have Christoph, Cohen, Nils, Gozan, Tenured Frog, Alex and Ralco. And of course everyone having free choice of tyre compound due to it being a wet qualifying session. Will it be wet in the race? Time will tell as we get ready to go in to the race. And it is blue skies up in the sky, and it is looking pretty good. Pretty good out there. It's nice and sunny. I'm betting a lot of people will be happy about that. So maybe that's why everyone was struggling in the wet conditions with the dry setup on. So it is going to be interesting to see how these guys get on as we wait for everyone to perfect their setups and their race strategies, as we also prepare for the formation lap. And while everyone is on the formation lap, I'm going to turn my attention once again to the chat and ask you guys for your predictions. Who do you think is going to be in the top 3 here tonight? As we've already got a prediction coming in saying Cohen for a podium. It would be a big result for Cohen if he can get that. So tyre compounds that everyone has selected. Mediums for everyone apart from Ryan Webb, Aiden F1, Dirtpole, Chris, Cohen, and that's it. I was about to say an extra name, but that was it. We got Dogobbs and Gozan, the 2 nominations here from Game Freaks, and Oliver saying that Aiden will win, Wester, our championship leader, in 3rd, and Matey to break his streak of not finishing a race so far this season, and to break his streak by getting 2nd place. So that is a very interesting prediction there from Oliver. Of course, he races with these guys. He will know what they're capable of. as does Game Freaks. I believe Game Freaks is in. Yeah, Game Freaks is. Yeah, Game Freaks is second in the championship. I'm pretty sure. So both Game Freaks and Oliver unable to make it tonight. No, Game Freaks is third in the championship. My bad. So both Game Freaks and Oliver missing out on an opportunity here tonight, but hopefully they'll be back next week and able to show us what they can do out on track. As we wait for everyone to filter around, take their grid positions to get this race underway. 27 laps await these 17 drivers. And of course, not only is there the Drivers' Championship to think about, but also there is the Constructors to think about. And right now, it is Williams that lead the way in the Constructors. And it will be good to see if AlphaTauri or Racing Point will be able to take the fight to them as we get ready to wait for those 5 red lights, and we should be getting them coming on now any moment. 3, 4, 5 red lights are on now. Lights are out and we are underway for the French GP in Tier 2, and it looks like a very good start there for Mate as Dog Ops gets the jump on Alpha Wolves. As they run down into turn 1, it's 3 wide between the Racing Point AlphaTauri and Ryan Webb. As it's still 3 wide between these 3. Lads, give each other the room, please. As it looks like Pricky will come out on top of that freeway battle. Ryan Webb tucks in behind, but Eden trying it back down the inside, and that's going to open things up for his teammate to go around the outside, but he's unable to pull it off. Meanwhile, Dog Obs and Alpha Wolves there having a bit of a battle as well. We got Dirtpool looking to get the move done on Chris. I believe Chris was the man behind, so Chris trying to get the move done. As they are side by side, and then we got Alex, a big old dive down the inside, and I think, yep, that was a bit too hot on the brakes there for Alex, and he goes around on lap 1. It's going to be a long night now for Alex, as Alpha Wolves, I believe that is more than a tenth of a second, but that is less than a tenth here between Eden. Oh no, sorry, I was going to say Eden. It's not Eden, it's Ryan Webb and Pricky, and I think blame for that incident must be given to Pricky. He was there. He would have had the indicator of the red arrow in his bottom left peripheral vision, and he should have left a little bit more room there for Ryan, but it was an aggressive move from Ryan as well, so we can't take that away, as Aiden and Muriel, the Racing Points, side by side into turn 1, and Aiden keeps it ahead. Aiden, of course, on the soft compound tyre, so having that grip advantage early on, he needs to use it to get himself up the order. As Ryan making his way back up into 8th after that spin. Muriel just been overtaken by Wester, and now will come under pressure from Ryan Webb, as Wester did make the move on Muriel, who got a little bit out of shape coming out of turn 5, but Ryan Webb, he's just gonna set it up, maybe get a good run out of the chicane at turn 9. Is it going to be close enough to try anything? I don't know, but right now it is a checkerboard from 4th down to 7th. Here's AlphaTauri Racing Point, AlphaTauri Racing Point, and here goes Ryan Webb. Just judged that brilliantly there. Notice he had the grip, notice he had the overspeed, and able to get that car alongside Muriel and down the inside, and now up into P7 there for Ryan Webb, as Aiden is now on the back of Pricky. So as I was saying, using those soft tyres to good effect early on, and Ryan Webb will be push him with absolutely everything he's got to make up for that spin earlier, as dirt ball all over the back of Murrell for 8th place. There's McLaren versus Racing Point, and we've seen that plenty of times in real life. And Doggobs now all over the back of Matey. Doggobs, the man who is second in the championship right now. He is 20 points behind Wester, and at the moment, as he, with DRS wide open, he just breezes past, and for some reason I did not have the telemetry or anything up, so unfortunately I missed out on DRS being activated there. But Doggobs now up into first place. Aiden all over the back of Pricky. He's going to look down the inside into turn 10. It's getting very close between them, but Pricky able to hold the speed going around the outside and able to keep ahead. Ryan still sticking it behind Wester for P7 and P6. And now Matey, he is starting to put Doggobs back under pressure for that race lead, and Aiden equally putting the pressure on Pricky now. As we start lap 4 of 27, Doggobs leads ahead of Matey, and here comes Pricky now under pressure as Aiden gets through down the inside. Are they able to keep it together? Yes, they are. Aiden now up into 4th place, Pricky down into 5th. And what that will do, that little battle will slow Pricky down enough that Wester, his teammate, will have better defense against Ryan Webb now, because Wester will have the DRS on his teammate and should be able to stay ahead as Chris picks up the first penalty of the evening. And yep, there we go. Wester with our DRS wide open, able to keep it ahead of Ryan Webb, and Aiden did not do many favours there as we got Ryko and Murrell battling. Oh my god, Chris and Murrell around, going for a spin. Looks like Murrell's managed to get himself underway. Chris taking a bit extra time to get underway. You got Alex now with the overspeed on the back. Oh, that's a late move there. That's a late move from Chris, and oh yep, he's gone. He has absolutely launched it. It's just sharp movements in the corners. You just can't do them. The cars do not appreciate that, and it is a full course safety car here on lap 4, and that is going to be throwing a huge spanner in the works for a lot of these guys, and for everyone on the softs. It kind of makes things a little bit easier for them because they can get off the soft tyres, chuck on a set of the hards or chuck on a set of the mediums and push. So everyone on the mediums rightfully so sticking it out there, and out of everyone that came into the pits, Aiden and Ryan on the set of the hard compound tyres, Dirt Paul and Cohen on the set of the mediums, Alex on the set of the hards, and he'll be loving the fact the safety cars come up, but he won't be loving the fact that he got wing damage off Chris, but he will be able to close up now to the back of the pack as Nils on the set of the mediums will also be able to close up to the back of the pack, and now the safety car will lead them around for what should be another lap at least. So while all that is going on, let's have a look at who has who has gained the most positions in these opening laps. So there we go. We got Ralco up 11 places from last on the grid. He's up into P6 right now. So a fantastic start to this race for Ralco, and goes on there up into 7th. He does have that penalty, What kind of penalty is it? Actually, let's have a look. It's a 3-second time penalty, but he is up 7 places, and of course we've got Tenured Frog up 5 places as well. The big loser out of this so far has, well, technically it says Ryan Webb down 8 places, but you have to think Muriel is the big loser out of these opening laps, because not only is he down 3 places on where he started, he's effectively a pit stop behind Aidan and Ryan and Durpol, Cohen, Alex and Nils, who will approach the back of the grid probably as we approaching the sector 2 split, as Christoph has left the session, and yeah, he's not gonna be happy, but yeah, it's one race to forget about there for Chris as he leaves the session. Apologies about that, guys. I just had to quickly have a word with a family member. So yeah, back in lap 6, safety car still out, but it is coming in at the end of this lap, so Dog Orbs now will control the pace, and as crucial as it is to make sure you're as close as possible to the car ahead, you don't want to be too close, because you can still pick up a 5-place 5-second time penalty. I was going to say a 5-place time penalty, and there we go, Durpol. They're just getting a bit too close to Alex, and both of them picking up 5-second time penalties. So we'll go on board with Joe. We'll go on board with Dog Orbs, because he is going to be the man who will get us underway. He may go out the final corner. Yep, and there he goes out in the final corner. It looks like he hasn't dropped matey, but quickly over the back of Alpha Bulls, as we are back under green flag conditions and racing once again. And made all over the back of Dog Orbs, as we got Ralco over the back of Wesker there, as we have a look a little bit further down the field. Aidan and Tenured Frog side by side, and looks like Tenured Frog there just missing the corner completely, and that's going to compromise Ryan Webb slightly, and they might give Durpol a chance as Tenured Frog there backs out and loses a further 2 positions. So I go back onto the tyre graphics. As Durpol was trying to make the move on Ryan Webb, but unable to do so at this moment in time. Muriel was looking at the back of Lib now, and on board with Bricky, and what this has done is bunched everyone back up together, so I'm expecting the occasional move to be made. I'm not expecting fireworks as soon as the safety car comes in, but I'm expecting some good battling to happen now. As we start lap 8 of 27, Dog Orbs is still in the race lead. Everyone's still keeping relatively the same gap, as Alex is into the pits for a front wing change again. So Alex having a really horrid time here in France, and it's not going good for the man in the Red Bull. As Wester was trying to look at shaping up a move on his teammate, the championship leader. Unable to do so, and everyone else still... Oh, actually, Gozen has managed to get past Reichel there. So I'm guessing Reichel had a bit of a snap of oversteer due to some wheel spin coming out of the chicane, and has lost the position. Meanwhile, we got Wester. He is really trying to shape up this move on his teammate. 10-year Frog picks up a 3-second time penalty, and Lib now all over the back of Valco. Does look like Wester is the faster of the Alpha Tauris as it currently stands, and with DRS enabled this lap, you've got to think that Wester is going to cruise on past. So we'll stay on board with Wester unless that gap between Livnow and Reichel gets incredibly close. As Pricky picks up a 3-second time penalty, but oh, he gets a massive snap coming out of turns 6, and here comes Wester with the overspeed with DRS. He's going to fly past Pricky and Gozen, not quite close enough to take advantage of that as well. Matey sticking behind Dogobs for the time being. And Libnow getting the move done on Rocco as well. So Libnow up into 7th place. We got Cohen looking at the back of Durpole. He's got the speed. He's used a bit of VRS. He's down the inside. Oh, is he going to be able to get this done? Yes, he is. Into turn 11. Fantastic stuff there from Cohen. Gets himself up into 12th place. As a little bit of contact there between Durpole and Cohen, as Alex picks up a 3-second time penalty, adding to his misery, as it looks like 10-year Frog has gone for a bit of a spin. As we're on board with Matey now, as he's all over the back of Dogobs. Alpha Bull's also there. Look at that. Matey with his lines getting incredibly close there to Dogobs, and this will be for the lead of the race. It's a terrible camera angle that they just gave me, so I'll go back on the TV pod, and with DRS he's just going to cruise on past Alpha Wolves, just a little bit too far back to make a move. Quickly unable to get past his teammate, and it stays as it is for right now. Alpha Wolves now looking at the back of Dogobs. And interestingly enough, for Dogobs and Alpha Wolves, they've used quite a bit of VRS. Matey's still there over 70%. And Wester is closing in slowly but surely. He is getting there. As Murrell into the pits here. So Murrell into the pits on lap 10. Ooh, Alpha Wolves there with a big snap of oversteer by just mounting that curb at turn 2. Massive snap of oversteer as he just loses the car, and that has brought Wester right into the DRS window now. It was going to be borderline if Wester could get in it, but now he's 100% in there. I don't think he's going to be close enough. I don't think anyone's going to be making any moves at the moment, unless Ryan Webb can get the overspeed on Aiden. Does close up in the braking zone, carries much more speed through turns 8. I guess closer into 9, but still sticking it behind the racing point for the time being. Bit of a lock up there for Ryan Webb, but if anyone's close to making an overtake, it is going to be Ryan. But he just touches that inside curb at 12, just compromises his run slightly and goes in there, getting very close to the back of Pricky and losing a lot of time there in the final corner because of it. We got Paul closing in on Cohen, and he is going to cruise on by with DRS, and oh, he just parks it there on the apex as Aidan picks up a 3-second time penalty. Wester now all over the back of Alpha Wolves. Doesn't have much ERS to play with. Neither of them do, to be fair. Dogab saving some of his up. He's about equal now with Mate. And Ryan not close enough as Tanya Frog into the pits. Alex promoted up into 15th. And Ryan Webb now using his ERS, trying to get the run on Aidan. We go through turns 10, closes right up to the back of the racing point. He's going to try down the inside. No. Going to keep a tighter line. Oh, very close there between Ryan and Aidan. But Ryan doing a good... Oh, as Aidan actually gets a bit of a snap on the exit, and that allows Ryan Webb straight through us. We got our... Well, we got Alpha Wolves into the pits, and Mate and Dogab sticking out along with Wester. We're getting the first round of pit stops now from the medium runners. And it'll be interesting to see where Murrell is compared to all these guys, because he's just going past goes in and potentially Lib now, but unable to get past Lib now. But Lib now getting past Alpha Wolves, so Lib now up ahead of Alphas, and so is Pricky. So Alpha losing a lot of time there in the pit stop phase, and Murrell is off again, and this will be a well, actually I was expecting a 10-second time penalty for cutting that corner. As we go back up to the fight at the top, Mate, Dogarbs and Wester. We got Ryan Webb on the back of Ralco for P4. I believe we'll see the top 3 coming into the pits here. Yep, they're all in. What about Ralco? Yep, he's in as well, so that will release Ryan Webb into the lead of this race. Fortunately for Mate, does not get held up in the pit lane, but could Dogobs get held up? Oh, it is close between Wester and Dogobs, actually. Very close indeed. And Ricky, is he going to be able to jump anyone? He's going to get ahead of Dogobs. Ricky now up into 7th, ahead of Dogobs, ahead of Wester. The undercut working out perfectly for the man in the Alpha Tauri. As we got Oliver in the chat once again saying hello, hello Oliver, how are you? As Alex picks up another time penalty, and it's going from bad to worse for for Alex there as Doghouse gets through on Pricky and now up into 7th place. DRS definitely aiding the Williams past the Alpha Tauri. As Alpha Rolls there gets through on Gozan and up into 11th now for Alpha Rolls. He definitely lost a lot of time in the pit stop phase, losing out to both Pricky and Lib now, but also being overcut by Wester. He was just ahead as Nils into the pits. However, Ryan Webb and Aidan, they made their pit stop under the safety car. They chucked on a set of the hard compound tyres. Can their tyres make it all the way to the end? So I don't believe Durpo and Cohen will be able to do it. I think that's asking a bit too much. Maybe. How far back is he from the race leader? He is 15 seconds behind. That is a lot of time he has to gain to get the race win. Goes and not close enough to the back of Alpha Rolls there. Pricky was getting close to Doghouse but unable to get close enough to make that move. Lap 15 of 27 is Ryan Webb who leads the way ahead of Aidan F1, and Pricky there just taking too much of the inside curve, and now he's side by side with Wester, his teammate, who he pinches onto the apex there and able to maintain P7, but definitely costing his teammate there a lot of time. And Doghouse pushing now to try and get back in DRS of Matey, because then he can slowly save his ERS up and claw back a bit at time, as it looks like Ryan has managed to drop Aidan out of DRS, yet Aidan does not have anything. So let's see how powerful it is for Durpol, gaining around 4/10 of a second. So we go on board with Doghouse. He's over 50% worse on his ERS, close to 60 actually. But now that he does have DRS, he should be able to save some of that back, as Wester once again unable to get past his teammate, who is making life difficult for the championship leader. As Durpol now into the pits on lap 16. As we start lap 17, what will the choice of tyres be for Durpol? Will it be another set of the mediums? Yes, it will. A fresh set of mediums on the McLaren. Wester, and he can't make the move now. Liv now trying to get involved in this Alpha Tauri war that's going on between Pricky and Wester. As we funnel through turns 6 and 7, Wester, is this the time? He's got absolutely nothing in his ERS right now, but he needs to get past his teammate. All Pricky is doing is holding up Wester, and you can see Doghouse has been able to gain 2 seconds on Pricky since overtaking him, as Gozan has managed to get back through on Alpha Roll. So Gozan now back up into P9, and here goes Wester. He just wasn't just didn't want to commit to making that move down the inside. As we got Alpha, he's been overtaken by his teammate and he gets onto the curb and has a big tank slapper there. So Alpha Wolves going backwards in this race after the pit stop. What has gone wrong for Alpha Wolves here? Ryan Webb still leading the way ahead of Aiden. Wester still trying to get past his teammate, but he's unable to do so, and Lib now well and truly in that DRS window. Maybe he'll take advantage if Wester decides that he wants to go for a move, but then decides late to back out of it, as he did into turn 11 on the last lap. If he does that and Libnow is able to spot an opportunity, Libnow is probably going to go for it. But here comes Wester. He's got the overspeed this time around, and he's going to get ahead of his teammate finally. For Wester, he's ahead of Pricky, but Pricky, is he going to be able to come back? Wester with no ERS to use. Pricky isn't close enough to Wester to make a move, so you have to stick behind his teammate. As Cohen now into the pits. And Ryan and Aiden staying out, and let's see what the gap is between them and Matey. It is around about 12 seconds. So Mate has managed to bring home 3 seconds. Oh, as Pricky there gets a big tank slapper coming out of turn 2, but I think Libnow also had the same issue because he wasn't able to take advantage of that. And Alpha Wolves, it was looking good for him earlier in this race, but he's just gone backwards since the pit stop, possibly being held in the pit lane by cars coming in and making their pit stop, and since then he has lost a huge amount of time and a lot of pace compared to the guys up ahead. Right now, Libnow is looking like he's better off on ERS, not by a huge amount, but he is slightly better off on ERS. But if I was Libnow, I would be not using ERS at all. I would just be saving, just keeping it behind these two. Build up your ERS a bit, get up to around about 40-50%, and then pushes. Alpha Wolves picks up a 3-second time penalty. And Mate with that time penalty as well, he's going to be under pressure to keep a hold of P3 as it is, as Doggob still keeping it around 2 seconds behind the Red Bull. And Rygold still looking at the back of Gozan as Cohen gets through on Muro on those fresh soft tyres. He's going to be absolutely flying as Ryan Webb has been overtaken by Aiden. So Aiden with DRS finally able to get past Ryan Webb, and Aiden there on 80% ERS compared to Ryan on around 30%. Aiden could be looking good here for a possible win. Of course, if Aiden does win this race and Wester comes home in P5, which it is currently at the moment, Aiden will only be 10 points behind Wester. 10 points, that's it. That was all that will be in it. thing is, Aiden's got enough ERS that he can pull out of DRS range of Ryan Webb and maybe try to control this race as Lib now able to start putting Pricky under pressure, because Pricky has lost ERS. He's lost all of his ERS, but he's also out of DRS range of his teammate, and that is the pull around maybe. And who's around? It's Alpha Wolves. Alpha Wolves having another mistake, and around he goes. Third pole picking up a 3-second time penalty. Lib now getting through on Pricky. Lib now up into 6th place. And Lib now, he is slightly better off on ERS, so you gotta think that he'll be able to pull away slowly. And Wester now all over the back of Dog Ops, his closest championship contender. So Wester now looking like he could be the one to possibly get this final spot on the podium. So right now it is nip and tuck if Wester can overtake Matey here on that 3-second time penalty. It is a yellow flag, and I think, oh no, is that Alpha Wolves? It is Alpha Wolves. He's off again. Alpha Wolves have an absolute torrid time of things. Wester now on the back of Dog Obs. He is 30% worse off on ERS, but Alpha Wolves into the pits, retires from the session. As Cohen and Nils, I think, must have picked up damage some way as the host migration. Hopefully that doesn't ruin things for the lobby, but here goes Wester through on Dog Obs and now up into P4. And Cohen has also left the session, retiring in the pit lane also. But Wester now looking like he's going to be the biggest threat to Matey on that final step of the podium. It is lap 22. We're about to go into lap 23 of 27. The strategy from Aiden and Ryan Webb pitting into the safety car for a set of hard compounds seems to be working, because guys like Durpole, Alpha Wolves and Nils, it just hasn't worked out for them. Same with Cohen as well. The alternative strategy just did not work for them by two stopping, and these guys, they're stretching their hard tyres out. They've got a gap of 8 seconds to Mate, who also has a penalty, who's under pressure from Wester and Dog Obs of keeping that final spot on the podium. Ryan Webb, is he going to go for a move? No, he's going to stick behind Aiden. Aiden at one point had a lot more ERS to play with. The momentum has now shifted back in favour of Ryan Webb. Although Ryan Webb does not need to overtake Aiden to win this race. All he has to do is just stick behind him. But those hard tyres that these two individuals have on their cars are twice as old as that of Matey's, who's closing in as the hards start to drop off. They start to weigh. And Wester, he's really eating into that time of Matey now. And Aiden's just been overtaken by Ryan Webb, so Webb now back up into the race lead. However, I think Aiden might be able to DRS his way back through on the back straight. So we'll stay on board with this. I will revert to will revert to Gozan if he gets close enough to the back of Pricky, as Gozan is now also in that DRS window. And it doesn't look like Aiden is close enough. So we'll have a look and see what the run is like for Gozan. It is pretty decent, much better than Welko's behind. And Pricky just unable to close up to Liv now, who is up into P5. Dogobs does close up to Wester, but he's not close enough for a move. And Matey taking a good chunk of time out of Aiden and Ryan Webb. What is the penalty situation? Is 3 seconds for both Aiden and Mate. As Alex picks up another 3-second time penalty. How many penalties is Alex on now? He's on 18 seconds of time penalties there for Alex. This has definitely been a torrid race for him. He just hasn't been comfortable whatsoever with this track. Unfortunately for Alex, maybe picking up the wooden spoon here as Pricky picks himself up another 3-second time penalty. And that could be crucial. Lap 25 of 27. Just 2.5 laps to go in this race. Dogobs closes up to Wester. Not close enough for a move yet. He is running out of time to make this move. And the clouds are out in full force. Will we see last lap rain by any chance? It is looking like it could be a possibility. But I think, like in real F1, we'll probably just miss the rain. Race leaders come on to lap 26 of 27. We got a lovely four-way battle for P6. We got Dogobs versus Wester for what is essentially the final spot on the podium, with Matey's 3-second time penalty. But look at that gap between Matey and Aiden, it is flying down now. Yeah, since we've just been on board with Matey, he's taken half a second out of these guys ahead. So it's not over yet, guys. We could be seeing some last lap drama. As here goes Dogobs, he's got the overspeed, he's got the ERS, and he's through and up into P4. Dogobs ahead of Wester. Pricky not close enough to make the move on Liv now, but is he going to be able to get the traction to make a move? No, he's not. And look at that. Matey taking 4 attempts out of Aiden in just one corner. Okay. As our race leaders now approach the final lap of this race, Ryan Webb still leads ahead of Aiden. Matey now can't see him, they are firmly in sight. He's not going to get the DRS, but maybe in the final sector he can get onto the back of these two. And Dogobs and Wester now borderline on that 3-second time penalty of Matey. The podium is up for grabs, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't look like he's going to be close enough to pressure Ryan Webb. And look at, oh mate, he is 1.1 seconds behind Aiden now. Is he going to be able to snag second place as yellow flags, and that's Pricky gone. Pricky off track there. Goes and closing up. Oh, who is going to get the podium? I'm not sure. It's Aiden. Is he going to try and make the move to win on track? Oh, Ryan there. Just about leaving enough space, but very close indeed. And look at that. Mate is on the back of him. Mate is on the back of him. And if these guys slow Mate down enough, he will lose that podium spot to Dog Hobbs as they come for the penultimate corner for the final time. Ryan Webb should get this win out on track and on penalties. And Mate, he's got alongside Aiden, but he can't get it done. Or can he? It's a drag race to the line. And oh my god, Aiden manages to get. And oh my god, look at that gap. Aiden just 200ths of a second ahead of Mate. And Doghouse misses out by 700ths of a second. As Livnow will come home in 6th, goes in 7th, Walker in 8th. Durpol will jump ahead of Pricky on penalties. Murrell in 11th. Nils, Alex, Tenured Frog to the line to round out this race. Wester, our championship leader, getting P5. And I'm just going to do some quick math. Quick math real second. So Ryan Webb was 25 points behind Wester, is now down to 10 points. Aiden, who was also 25 points behind Wester, it is down to, was it 8 points gained, so 17 points. Fastest lap will go to Alex as we wait for Tenured Frog now to cross the line, and there he goes. But what an unbelievable race that was. Ryan picks up the driver of the day, and Ralco gets driver of the day from the game. And yeah, Ryan picking up the victory, and there he is on the top step of the podium. Aiden to his right, and off on his own, spraying some podium champagne is Matey, his first race finish of the season, and he'll be incredibly pleased with that. So run you through the orders one last time. It is Ryan Webb who takes victory here in France, ahead of Aiden in 2nd. Matey will round out the podium ahead of Dog Hobbs in 4th. Wester maintains the championship lead, but it is down to 10 points now. Wester in 5th. Livnow in 6th. 7th will go to Goes On. 8th to Ralco, and 9th to Durpol. Pricky will round out the top 10. Then Murrell, Nils, Alex and Tenured Frog outside of the points. Alex picked up the fastest lap though, and Cohen, Alpha Wolves and Chris were our non-finishers here today. Now my personal driver of the day, I mean, you look at the position gains, Gozan and Ralco there. It is fantastic that they were able to climb themselves up the order. But I do have to give driver of the day to Ryan just for that strategy under the safety car, pitting for a set of the hearts, keeping it clean on penalties and winning out on track. And I think another lap and Matey would have been able to get past both of them, but it is what it is. But that will bring an end to the first race of 2021 here in F1 Racing League. I have been Ivor Bryn Mike, and next week we will be at Zandvoort for the Dutch Grand Prix in the Netherlands. So make sure you guys tune into that for round 6 at the Netherlands. But until next week guys, I will catch you again.